Good. I think if we could start together, and I thank everybody for joining us, and I hope that we learn a lot. Tim has been the expert in MS Teams and in other virtual meetings, and I felt that we can learn a lot from Tim. So, Tim, thank you so much for giving this time to take us through a new adventure. And before we go on, if you don't mind, I pray so that we will have a blessed time and we will learn what we need to learn. Yeah. So, Lord Jesus, we come into a world that is not very familiar to many of us, but I pray that you help us to use this tool so that in the future and in the times to come, we are able to use this technique for trainings. Pray your blessing upon Tim as he explains to us. Pray your blessing upon everyone and the technique and the computers and telephones and iPads and laptops. Lord, that your hand of blessing will be upon it and we will learn to use it to connect with one another. But Lord, we do this from your heart, and I pray that you will use each one of us. Your blessing will be upon Tim and every participant. We pray this in Jesus' name. Amen.
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 And thank you, Tim. Over to you.
Thank you all for joining this training today. I don't consider myself an expert because I only recently started using MS Teams myself. I use it for lecture with my students, and I was using Zoom for the Saline process training because we had a license for the paid version, a 1-year license. And at the expiration of that license, about 3 or so months ago, we struggled to have the license renewed because of some issues. And I had already scheduled a training, an SPTTT, which I was going to present. And with the license and with us not being able to renew the right license, I found myself in a corner. So I had to think quickly to say, okay, what else can I do? What options do I have? It was at that point I remembered, oh, I have another option, and it's called Microsoft Teams. So I decided to try it for the first time for the Saline training, and it worked very well. And I realized that, okay, we have it in my organization. I don't have to pay for it. I don't have a time limit. I can use it to give training. I can still use breakout rooms. I can record. I can share slides. I can do everything that I do on Zoom, on MS Teams. So why do I have to bother myself going back to Zoom? And since then, I haven't looked back. And we have continued to use MS Teams for our Saline process training. And I also try to show some of our trainers how it works so that they too can use that as a training platform. So Alet has asked me to share some of what I have learned in using MS Teams for the Saline process training, and that is why we're here today. So I just want to share my screen so that you can see the agenda that we have, or the things we plan to cover, even though that has been communicated already by the message you have received. But in brief, we will look at how to set up and create events using the MS Teams calendar, how to create and share the connection link that you send out to people to join the meeting, such as the one you received to join this meeting, how to start and end the meeting, how to manage the waiting rooms, which in MS Teams is called the lobby, how to share screen, including how to share videos to make sure you actually get not only the the picture, but also the sound. And then how to create and manage the breakout rooms. Just like we do in Zoom, we have breakout rooms. You can create up to 50 breakout rooms in MS Teams, depending on how many participants you have. So if you have 2,000 participants, you can do your training successfully and have 50 breakout rooms in maximum. How to use chats, attach files, raise hands, use the reaction buttons, how to record and how to access your recording, how to use whiteboard for interaction with participants, and then how to create a registration form. If you're having a training, you want people to register, how do you create that form using MS Forms? How do you get the link for the form? How do you manage the registrations once people have registered? How do you download the information, convert to Excel, and use it to create your database, which you can eventually edit and upload as part of your training report after your Saline process training? So that's the agenda for the meeting today. So what I'm going to do, I am going to not just share a window, but I'll share my entire screen so that whatever I do going forward, you'll be able to see. Okay, so let me stop presenting here. I want to share my entire screen. Great, so sharing the screen, I think I need to stop the PowerPoint slide from presenting. Okay, so right now you're seeing my entire screen. And the first thing I want to do is to go to the calendar section of MS Teams. If you look at the left-hand side here of MS Teams, there's calendar, there's assignment, teams, chat, activity, file, and so on. You can see various items in my calendar that I've set up over time, various meetings. And the meeting we're having right now is the one where my pointer is circling. That's the one going on right now. How do I set up a training meeting? There are two ways I'm going to show you how to do it. Let's say I want to set up a meeting for Monday. Today is 11th. Monday is the 13th. So up here, I can just click somewhere here to go to the next week where I have Monday the 13th. If I want to set that meeting up for, let's say 10 a.m. in the morning, on the left-hand side, you can see the various times in the calendar. I go to 10 and I click. I just clicked on 10 a.m. I can add the title of the meeting. Let's call it Saline Training. So I have typed the title as Saline Training. If I have a list of people that I wish to invite to that training, and I have their email addresses, it says here, add required attendees. Let's say I want to add, I
Hi,
have,
Tim.
yes,
Hi, Tim.
hello? Do you have a question?
Yes, Tim.
Okay, go
Yeah,
ahead.
I can't see your full screen. I don't know what I can't see your full screen. I don't know what I haven't done right. I'm just seeing you in a window. So
Do
I can't see
others,
some of the things. I'm using a phone.
okay, I also have it on my phone and I can see the full screen. Can others see the full screen that I'm sharing? Because I'm in the calendar section.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, we can
Thank you.
see it.
Okay, so I think it's your device. It's not from my end. It should be from your end.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, because I have
Okay.
a backup device on my phone and I can see exactly what I'm sharing on the screen. So let's say
Okay.
I have maybe 2 or 3 email addresses I want to invite to this event or to this training. Let me use HCFI Saline at yahoo.com. I type the email address. You can also see the email here. Just beneath that, it says invite HCFI Saline at yahoo.com. I have to click on that for it to accept that email address. So if I click, now I have one email address of someone I'm inviting. If I have a second person that I wish to invite to this event, let me use my work email address, okaita@tut.ac.za. Again, I click on it for it to accept that email address. So I have two email addresses here I have added. You can do the same for all the people you wish to invite to this event or training. Now below that, you want to set the dates and the time for the event. The date is Monday the 13th. The time is here, I have here from 10. So let's make it a 1-hour training from 10 to 11. From 10 to 11. So I just click at the bottom here and I choose 11. So it's a 1-hour training. Do I want this training to keep repeating every day or every week or every 2 weeks? There's an option here. If I click, the first option says does not repeat. So it's a once-off event. The next option says every weekday from Monday to Friday, or daily or weekly or monthly, or you can customize that as well. It's up to you. So I do not want this event to repeat. It's a one-off event. So it's a one-off meeting. And then it says add channel. Now, for my work, I have created a channel is like a room in a building. So you can have a big building with different rooms where meetings are held. Now, in my organization, there are already channels or rooms that have been created. One for the departmental meetings, and I created a room for my class and my lectures. I have one here called the clinical group, which is the one I use for the saline process training. Under that, there's a small room called general. So I select that clinical group general. Add location. I don't put any location because it's an online virtual training. So I leave that blank. Now underneath that, it says type details of this new event. Whatever I type in this space is what participants will see at the top of their screen when they join the meeting. So if I call this Saline training, that is what you will see at the top of the screen here. Okay, if you look at the window that I'm sharing, you see MS Teams training for Saline trainers. I'm getting a bit of noise from someone. Let me just try to
That may be me, Tim.
Okay. Okay, that's better now. Okay, so you see at the top of this window here, MS Teams training for Saline trainers. So whatever you want participants to see at the top of the screen once they log in, that is what you will type in this section here. I'm calling this Saline training. Now, once I have done this, I have set up a meeting and I just click send. But before I click send, there is something here I just want to show. It shows the time zone. For us in South Africa, it's UTC +2. So this is our time zone. If you wish to change the time zone, you can do that here as well. But I'm not changing. Next, you have response options. How do you want people to respond? Do you want to request for people to respond to accept the meeting for them to be able to attend? Yes or no is up to you. So I have selected for them to click yes. Once they get an email, they'll have to click yes to accept the meeting. Then it becomes active in their calendar. You can also allow them to forward it. Do you require them to register for this event? For me, I say no. If you wish them to register, they could register, or registration may be required for people within your organization or for everyone. It's up to you. But for me, I say none. So no registration necessary, because I'm going to create a separate registration form using MS Forms, and I'll show us how to do that. Now, once I have set everything up like this, the date, the time, duration of the meeting, the channel, and the title, I just click send. If I click here, send, all the people whose email addresses I have included will receive a message on their email. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, I just got a message now. You can see it on the screen. So in my work email address, if I click on it, it should open my work email. Here's my work email. Now, can you see that the event has shown on my work email? If I click here to say accept, which means I'm accepting to attend that event, and I choose the option that says send the response now. If you look at the bottom here, it also has the link to attend the meeting. Click here to join the meeting. So if I want it on my calendar, I will have to accept. You have the option to decline as well. But I'm accepting by clicking send the response now. The moment I do that, it becomes active in my calendar. Here it is, Saline training, Monday, December 13, from 10 to 11 a.m. And it is in this event from the calendar that I can get the link to send to participants. If I wish to send the link to someone, I can get it from here. I click on it. There is my link for this event. I just click here. I can copy the link and I can paste it on WhatsApp. I think I have WhatsApp open somewhere. Let me just quickly check. There's my WhatsApp on my desktop. It's opening now, and I can just choose which group to forward it to. Okay, I'm waiting for the WhatsApp to open. Okay, so I can send it on WhatsApp to a group or to individuals, or I can copy it and send it by email. So my WhatsApp is opening now. Now, how to put WhatsApp on your desktop is something else, okay? So these are some of the groups. If I click on any group here, I can just paste the link. There it is. So if I click, it's pasted in that WhatsApp group, but I'm not going to paste now. You can do the same with email. You can go to your email or someone else's email, or you can send that link via email as well. So let's come back to calendar. So we've seen how to copy the link and send it to someone or a group by email or by WhatsApp. And if I want to start this meeting, I do the same. I click on that meeting in the calendar, and you see all of these options will pop out. If I click join, it will open the meeting. The other thing I can do here, should the time or the date of the meeting change, I can use this edit button to change my settings for the date and time of the meeting. Or if I wish to add more participants to that meeting, to add their email addresses, I can click edit, then it will open that event, and I can add a new email address here. or I can change any of the settings in terms of the dates and the time, or how I want the meeting to repeat itself. I can change even the title of the meeting. I can change whatever parameter I wish to change. And once I have done that, I can then close that meeting. At the moment, there are only 2 people I have invited, but I can send that link of this meeting to other people who may not necessarily be in this list here. The advantage of putting the email addresses here before you send is that those people will have, the people you've sent it to will have it in their calendar. And by going to the calendar, they can click easily on that calendar to join the meeting. And they will also get reminders on their email once the meeting is due. So they'll get constant reminder, and it's easier for them to connect to the meeting or to the event if they already have it in their calendar and they also have it in their email. So once you have done all your changes, you can just say close. Okay. So now we have seen how to set up or create an event. Now, if I want to create, it's not a webinar. The meeting I've just created is a kind of interactive meeting. People can raise their hands, they can share their videos, just like what we're having now. You can put on your video, you can put on your audio, you can raise your hands and do all sorts of things. You can use the chat box. But if I wish to create a webinar that is non-interactive, you just have someone speaking, you don't even see the video or hear the audio of participants, there's no interaction. I can do that as well. Now I've shown you one way to create your event. The other way you can do it, if you go to the top right-hand corner where my mouse pointer is at the moment, and you see there's a drop-down list. It says new meeting. If I click on that drop-down list, it gives me 2 options. The first option says schedule meeting, and that's exactly what we have just done. The next option says webinar. So either one of these options will help you to schedule a meeting. But the difference is that with the webinar, it is non-interactive. You only have the speaker and maybe the co-speaker that are able to speak, share, communicate. There's no response from participants. They cannot put on their video, they cannot put on their audio, they can't even chat with you. So they're just attendees in the meeting. But you don't want that with your Saline training. You want it to be more interactive. So always schedule a meeting instead of a webinar. Okay. Now I have shown us how to share the connection link from the calendar. You click on that event in the calendar. Immediately you will see the link. You can just click here to copy the link. It's copied to clipboard. You can paste on WhatsApp or paste on email. There is another way to get the link from within the meeting itself. Now let's come back to this meeting we're having right now. This is our meeting. These are the list of attendees. I'll just close that. If I want to get the link from within this meeting, at the top here, where we have 4 dots, if I hover around it, it says more actions. If I click on it, I have a list of options. And one of them is the meeting info. If I click on meeting info, it's the same as what you click on Zoom, where you copy the link or the connection ID and passcode for the meeting. If I click on meeting info, it gives me the option to copy the link that I can send to someone to join this meeting. Here at the bottom as well, it says click here to join the meeting. So if I click copy join info, it copies the link to the clipboard, and I can take it and paste on WhatsApp, or I go to an email, and if I go to email, for instance, and I say, okay, I want to, I've copied it already, I can paste it on the email here, and I just put the subject, Saline training, and I put an email address, let's call it HCFI Saline. Of course, it's the same email at yahoo.com. And then I send it, so I can send that joining info to somebody. And here it is. Okay, great. So let's come back here. So we have seen how to create and copy the joining link and send it either on WhatsApp or by email. So you can paste it, same thing, on a WhatsApp group, copy and paste, Control V, there's the link. If I paste it here, there is our link. By clicking on this link, somebody can join from WhatsApp. Okay. So we have seen how to set up and create events in Calendar, create and share connection link. Let's see how to start and end the meeting and how to use the waiting room.
Brother
Okay.
Tim?
Yes, please.
Could you just run through again the sharing the link from the meeting, where
Okay.
you get to those three buttons? If I press my three buttons, I am not getting that option.
Okay. For me, I see the option up here. I'm hovering around it. It says more action. I click.
Yeah.
Then I go to meeting info.
Okay, so
Meeting
then
info.
I don't have that one.
Possibly because you are an attendee and not the organizer of the meeting. But when
Okay.
you create your own meeting, you will
Yeah.
find that option, and then you can share that meeting info. If I click on meeting info, you can see it gives me the option to copy the link here, copy join info. I click on it, it's
Yeah.
copied. Then I can paste it wherever I want, or I paste it in an email and I send it to someone.
Okay, thank
Yeah,
you.
okay. So how do we start and end the meeting? Usually you can start it even from your email. You click on the join link on your email, it will start the meeting. If I go back to calendar, this is our meeting here. If I click on that meeting, it gives me several options. Among them is a button that says join. By clicking on that button, it allows me to start the meeting if I'm the organizer, or to join a meeting if I am a participant or an invited guest to that meeting. So I can join a meeting or start a meeting from the calendar, or I can join a meeting from my email because I already have the meeting link on my email. I can click here to join the meeting. So I can click to join the meeting, or if someone sends you the link to join the meeting, you could use that as well by clicking on the link, such as the one you received to join this meeting. It allows you to join the meeting. If you want to leave a meeting or end the meeting, usually you will find the red button at the top right hand corner. If you're using a phone, you will see it on your phone as well. The red button at the, well, in my phone is at the bottom, but on my laptop is at the top right hand corner. As the organizer of the meeting, I have got two options because there's a drop down button there. If I click, I can either leave the meeting. When I leave the meeting doesn't end. I have only left the room, but the meeting is still on. So if you want to end the meeting, make sure you click end meeting and not just leave the meeting. Because sometimes on MS Teams, an organizer leaves the meeting. He's not in the meeting, but the meeting is still running. And people can still join the meeting. It's running, but there's no organizer. So if you're ending the meeting as an organizer, make sure you choose end the meeting. Now, if I want to exit this meeting and allow Alex to continue running the meeting, I can just leave. I say leave. The meeting does not end, it continues, but I'm not in the meeting. And that's the difference. But if I want to end this meeting, I must use end meeting. Okay, do we have any questions before I continue?
Can you hear me?
We can hear you loud and clear.
Thank you.
Welcome.
I have had problems with the microphone. Sorry I'm late. I was struggling with it.
We hear you loud and clear.
Thank you.
Great. So now let's look at how to manage the waiting room. In MS Teams, it is called the lobby. Where do we find our lobby? I'm using the computer, so I have all my control buttons at the top here, top right hand corner. Again, if I go to those four dots, more actions. Okay, I'm getting a feedback, so let me try to mute. I need to mute someone. Yeah, mute participants. I check to make sure no one else is unmuted. Great. So if I click on those buttons that say more action, again, I see a whole lot of options. What I want to do is to manage the lobby, how people enter or how permission is granted for people to join the meeting. Now I'm going to click on meeting options. Meeting options. If I click on the meeting options, what I have done for you to be able to join this meeting without going through the lobby is to choose, it says, who can bypass the lobby? I chose the first option to say everyone. So which means you don't have to go through the waiting room. You go straight into the meeting, you bypass the lobby or the waiting room. But if I want only certain people to bypass the lobby and keep others in the lobby until they're given permission to join the meeting, I choose the next option that says people in my organization or trusted organization and guests, they can bypass the lobby. So if you are not in my organization, you go and wait in the lobby. And when someone joins the meeting and they are in the lobby, a message pops out in the screen. I can see it. Other attendees can see it as well. So I can click admit to let people into the meeting who are in the lobby. So you don't have to think about what to do. It pops out in the screen automatically once you have people waiting in the lobby. Usually, and if I want to be the only one who can bypass the lobby and I want everyone else to go first to the lobby and wait for permission to join the meeting, I choose only me. If I choose only me, no one else can bypass the lobby except I give them permission. But then if I'm presenting and I have to manage the lobby and permission, I get distracted. So for me, the best option is to let everyone in. But if you're managing and you want to be able to restrict access, make sure you don't allow everyone in. You can allow certain people or just be the one to manage the lobby so you can let people in or leave them in the lobby. There are other options here as well. This option says allow the mic for attendees. For a training purpose, you want to allow interaction, so this button stays active because you want people to be able to mute and unmute. But if I don't want people to, I don't want the background noise, I don't want people to speak, I can just close this button to disallow people from speaking. Same with the camera. If I choose this button here and I click save, all the cameras will go off. So it's an option to allow camera for attendees. Same with the reactions. And I'll talk about the reaction button just now. Reaction is when you give a thumbs up, you give a virtual hand clap, and reactions like that. So if I want to allow that, and you want to allow people in your training to share their reactions, give a thumbs up, and all of that. So I can enable all of those options, and I click save. There is another way to manage attendees, which I'm going to show you. And on this icon here that says show participants, if I click on that option, I will also have those buttons dots for more actions at the top here. If I click on it, I have the option to mute everybody. I can disable the mic for attendees. I can disable the camera for everyone. I can also manage permissions. Permission, who can switch on the mic, who can switch on video, who can bypass the lobby, and so on and so forth. But there's something else I want to show you here. If you have 100 participants and you want to know who attended my meeting, you can download an attendance list or attendance register and have it in Excel. So if I want to download a record of this meeting, for instance, you can see an option here that says download attendance lists. This is very useful so you know who and who attended your meeting. If I click download attendance lists, you see it's downloading. So if I click here now, there it is in Excel spreadsheet format, downloaded on my computer. I can open that. You can see it's opening in Excel. And here I already have a list of participants. So I have the name, I have the surname, I know who has joined, I know who left, I know when they joined, when they left. There's a time stamp, date and time, when they joined, when they left, everything is there. So if someone said, no, I was in the meeting the whole time, you can see a record of when they joined and when they left. And you can see some people joined and left and joined again and left, so all the record is there. You don't have to struggle about the list of participants. You have it on spreadsheet and you can save it on your computer and edit and manage as you wish. So that I believe is a very useful function for keeping record of attendance in your training. Okay. Any questions so far? We've seen how to set up and create the events, whether it's a meeting or a webinar. Okay, I see Sarah Mbui has her hand up. You can unmute and ask your question.
Okay, thank you. In the attendance list, I saw others were guests and others are not. What does that mean?
It doesn't really matter whether they're guests. Actually, everyone here is a guest. Yeah, because it's only the host that is not a guest. And because you are not in my organization, as in my university, so you are all guests. What is important is that you have a list of those who attended. So if you are an organizer, you are not a guest. If we sent you maybe an email to attend, you accepted, you clicked accept, it's in your calendar, you are not a guest. But if you use the link that was forwarded and you did not have to register to attend this event, automatically you become a guest. Does that make sense? Okay, I also see Tembo Charles. Your hand is up.
Yes, my question is about waiting in the lobby.
Yes.
If like when someone is waiting, you're like there is a notification that is seen at the screen. Can any attendee admit that person to the meeting?
From my experience, yes, because we've had departmental meetings and I didn't set up the meeting and a message pops up in the screen to say so and so is waiting in the lobby. I can click from my side to say admit and the person is admitted to the meeting. So the answer is yes. Okay. Do we have any other questions? Great. What I like to do also when I give a training, I have all the participants in a WhatsApp group. So we also interact on WhatsApp, ask questions, give reactions, because some participants cannot see some of these reaction buttons on their phone. So interaction becomes easier on WhatsApp. So I monitor the WhatsApp group as well to see questions and comments and reactions. Yeah. So we've talked about the waiting room or the lobby and how to manage that from meeting options. You can decide who can bypass the lobby and who cannot bypass the lobby. Now let's talk about, okay, I see Angie has her hands up. Please go ahead.
Yes, Brother Tim. I'm referring to the question that my brother asked just now, where anybody can receive or welcome the person from the lobby. How safe is that? That anybody can just bring somebody into the meeting?
The example I gave is people in my organization, because we're all from the same organization.
Yeah.
So anyone, because you're then not a guest, you attend not as a guest because you are part of the organization. So anyone there can admit.
Okay.
But part of the Zoom etiquette is you can inform them ahead of time, do not admit, allow only admin to admit guests.
Okay.
I think the other thing I wanted to show is how to manage. If I click on participants, I click on the more option button there. It shows manage permissions. Can you see manage permissions here? So if I click on it, let's see what happens. I can also manage who can share the screen. Okay, you see meeting options. Who can bypass the lobby? I can change that option to only me, which means everybody else stays in the lobby. Always let callers bypass. Okay. Then announce when callers join or leave. You can leave that on or switch it off. Who can present? For now, I say only me, because my experience, and especially with the Saline process trainings we just had, I left it to say everyone can present. But what I found is that if you do that, anyone can share the screen. And the other thing is anyone can also click the record button and record. And if someone clicks the record button before you, the organizer, it will show that the meeting is recording, but then they own the meeting. And this is what I've just learned, I learned the hard way. So once the meeting is over and the recording is ready, I don't see it in my calendar. The first person to click record is the one who has the information about the recording. It shows in their calendar, but not on mine. So I've lost a lot of valuable information by leaving this option on. So take note of that as well. You can also control the mic, allow mic for attendees, yes or no. Allow cameras for attendees, allow reaction, and so on. So you can manage that from here as well. Okay, so let's come back. Yes.
I am seeing next to my name the red button.
Yes.
As though I am. Why do I have a red button next to my name? As though I am recording.
Okay, let me see. No, the red button is not for recording.
Okay.
You only see the recording option. Where is it now? There's a button here, a red one that says there's recording going on here. That's the one that shows you are recording. So for me as an organizer, I have a red button.
Yeah.
Let's see for you as an attendee. Okay, I don't see that here. But maybe it just notifies you that there's a recording going on in case you wish to object or leave the meeting or something.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, Brother Tembo Charles.
Yes, you had earlier told us from the experience of Zoom, it was due to maybe some challenges in renewing its license.
Yes.
Does most teams also require kind of licensing or paying for it for accessing it?
Okay, that is something we can talk about later. For now, we just want to present the training on how to use it. Right? You and I can talk about that after the meeting. I will still be on for another few minutes after the meeting, and we can discuss that. But I am using MS Teams from my organization. I don't have to pay for it, and all of our students can download for free, and they all have access. So if you have issues of access from where you are, yeah, that's something we can look at as well and give you other suggestions, right? Great. I see we just have about 5 minutes. We scheduled an hour for this meeting, but looks like 1 hour is not enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue. Should anyone wish to leave on the hour, please feel free to do so. You are not under any obligation to stay on. And those who want to stay on for us to finish what we have on the agenda, I'll try to do so. So let's move on to screen sharing. Okay, so with screen sharing, at the moment I'm sharing my screen. There is a button here at the top. It's a square. Normally it has an upward pointing arrow, black arrow inside that square. That's the button you click to share screen. At the moment, what you have in that square is an X. It means I'm already sharing screen. And if I want to stop sharing screen, I click on that square with an X in it. It's the screen stops sharing. If I do that now, share screen has stopped. If I want to share my screen again, I click on the same button to share content. And at the moment, you still cannot share my screen because I haven't selected what to share. Usually, I have two options. The first option says to share the screen. Actually, there are more than two options. Share the screen. The next option says to share the window. What is the difference? If I share a window, I am only sharing a particular screen on my desktop. You can't see everything I'm showing. Let's say I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 windows open on my desktop, but I only want to share the PowerPoint or a video. Then I can choose to share a window. But if I want to share my desktop so that whatever I open in my screen is visible to you, I can choose the first option, screen. Then it will show you everything that I see on my screen, exactly the way I see it, which is where we are at the moment. So this option is what you use to share screen. But there's something else I wish to point out, especially if you're sharing a video. If you're sharing a video and you click on the share screen option, right at the top there's usually a button you have to click to activate the audio so that when you share a video, the participants can also hear the sound. If you do not click on that button, they will see the video, but there will be no sound. So please don't forget that whenever you are sharing a video, and I'm going to share a video now of John's journey, I have clicked on that square with the arrow on top. The button just below that, you can't see it now because I'm not sharing yet. It says include computer sound. I have to activate that button before I go to the window that has the video I want to share. Because if I don't do that, then there will be no video, there will be no audio. So I have activated that button. Let me do it again. I click on share screen. I say include computer sound. I select the window I want to share and I click play. And then you will see the
John,
video.
what happened?
What do you care?
And you
I heard
can
you cut yourself.
also
That's what I
hear
did. Just leave me alone.
the
We cannot just
sound
let you go like
because I
that.
have
We spent
activated
almost 6 weeks on
the
it.
button
And you
that
made a very
says
good progress in
include
your recovery.
computer
Why'd you
sound.
waste your time? It's not like things got any
Okay,
better.
Waste of time?
so let me
It is
stop that and stop sharing. So whenever you try to share a video and participants complain that they cannot hear the sound, it is because you forgot to activate the include sound button before sharing the video. Same with Zoom. And even when you're using Zoom, you have to activate the sound. It's somewhere in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen in Zoom. Here is at the top right-hand corner. Make sure you activate this include sound button so that they can hear the sound. Great. What if I want to change my background? I want to use a different virtual background. I can do that as well. There are different options. You can have your own customized background that you want to share, or you can use some that are already available on MS Teams. Now you see these more reaction buttons here, those 4 dots, very, very useful. Oh, sorry, I forgot to share my screen. Let me share my screen again. Okay, so that you can see. Okay, share screen. Here we go. Okay, so those 4 dots at the top for more reaction, if I click on it again, and I try to go down, 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 I scroll down, it says apply background effects. That's the option I'm going to click. Apply background effects. I click on it. There are different options of background here. Let me choose a different background here. I can preview before I apply. If I'm happy with this background, oh, it's the other way around now. I can stop the preview, choose a different one. Let's go to an office setting. If I click here, I can change, I can preview, I can change my background. My background is changed. I can use a different background. It's changed. I can click on a different one here. So if you're in an awkward place and you want to change your virtual background, you can easily do that. Now I'm in a classroom. So there are different options you can choose. You don't have to use your real background. You can always change to a virtual background if you are in an awkward place and you don't want to show where you are. Okay, so that's that about background effects or changing your background. You can add your own background as well. If you have one that you have customized and you want to use, you can always choose that. There's a button at the top here that says add new. So if I click on that button and I have a background that I want to use, it's either in a USB or on my desktop or somewhere in my computer. By clicking add new, I can quickly go to where that background is and open and select it. And yeah, and I can use it, but I don't want to add anything more now. That was how I added this background that I have here that I got from IHS Global. Where is it now? Okay, there we go. So that's my original background. So that's how you change the background. Next, I'm going to share how to use the breakout rooms. Again, this is very important for us when we do Saline process training because people go into small groups to practice spiritual history taking, to practice how to, okay, I see Alert, your hand is up. Okay, so let me just lower your hand. Okay, lower hand. Great.
Question was, can I put in my own picture? But you answered already.
Okay.
Thank you.
So let's do breakout rooms. Where do we get that? Again, where we have all these buttons here, there's this one here that says breakout. Let me close over here to decongest. So there's this one here, the square with another square by the smaller square by the corner that says breakout rooms. If I click on that button, here I have options to select how many breakout rooms I wish to create. MS Teams allows me to create up to 50 breakout rooms, as you can see. But I'm not going to create 50. So if I have 20 participants, maybe I want to do 4 or 5 breakout rooms, which should be more than sufficient. But if you have more than maybe 100 or 500 or 1,000 participants, and you want smaller groups, and you want to create more groups or more breakout rooms. Now you can allow MS Teams, once you've selected the number of rooms you want to create, you have two options. The first option is to allow MS Teams to assign people to the rooms automatically. MS Teams will do that, or you can do it manually. You want to select who goes to which breakout room. Then you can choose the second option for manual assigning of participants to breakout rooms. And that's more time consuming. But if you want specific people in specific rooms, let's say you have 5 trainers, 50 participants, and you want to create 5 breakout rooms and you want to assign one of your trainers to each of the breakout rooms, then you can do it manually. But you can also reassign someone from one breakout room to another. So once you've selected how to create your breakout rooms, you just click Create Rooms. The rooms will be created, but they will not open. You will see the rooms are created, people have been assigned. You have to click another button there that says Open Rooms for the room to now open, and everybody will be sent to their rooms automatically. Now, I don't want to create these breakout rooms now because it means we all leave the big room and then we're in small rooms. We can do that towards the end. But for now, I will just stop here, but at least we know where to click to create the breakout rooms. The rest is just practice. Okay. Using the chats and reaction buttons. So if you want an interaction, you ask a question, you want people to respond in the chat button, there's a bubble here at the top that says show conversation. If I click on it, and right here at the bottom, that's where people can type if you're using a computer. If you're using a phone, you will find 4 dots at the bottom of your screen. If you click on that, sometimes you will see the chat button, other times you will not. But if you click on those dots, you will see the reaction buttons. I can turn the chat bubble on and off. Where do I turn it on and off? Again, I go to this more reaction buttons here with 3 dots. I click on it. And if I scroll down, you will see don't show chat bubbles. I can toggle that on and off to either show or to not show the chat bubble. Show chat bubbles, don't show chat bubbles. So if participants say to you, oh, we don't see the chat bubble, you can come here and toggle it on and off. Click, you see it there, don't show or show. You can also turn incoming videos on and off from here. You can equally show transcripts. If I click show transcripts, whatever I say will be typed on the screen here. You can see the computer just typing away automatically. Whatever anyone says, you can see it typing. That's a transcript. You can download that as well. How amazing. Okay, so let me turn that off now so that there are no distractions. So don't show, okay, hide transcripts. Yeah. So with the reaction buttons, to raise your hands, to give a virtual hand clap, they're all there. That's the button that allows you to raise your hand if you have a question, or you can use the shortcut Control plus Shift plus K, or you can give a virtual thumbs up, or just click here to say, ah, I love what you're saying, or you just give a virtual clap, or you can laugh, or you can show surprise. Ah. Those are all reaction buttons we use during training. If you love something, you give a thumbs up, or you just click on the heart. Or if someone has given a fantastic presentation, you can give them a virtual clap. Okay, so those are all reaction buttons. Or you can, yeah, raise your hands and put down your hands. So if a hand is raised up and you want to put the person's hand down, they finished asking their questions, they're struggling to put down their hands, you can click on the show participants icon here, where it shows you the list of all participants, and you can see which hand is raised. And on the right hand side, next to that participant, there are different options. You can disable their mic or their camera, or you can help them to put down their hands, or you can make that person a presenter, or if they are problematic or they're imposters, you can even remove them from the meeting. That option is there to remove someone from a meeting. So if someone gate crashed your meeting, you can remove them from the meeting. The button, the option is there. Okay. I have shown us how to download attendance lists. You click show participants and you click the 4 dots there at the top right hand corner, and you can download attendance lists. I showed us how to download already. It downloads in Excel spreadsheet format. Recording is also straightforward. So from your more reaction buttons at the top here, you click and you can see all the various options. Right, you can see the record button in red. Right now we are recording. If I click on it again, it will stop the recording. How do I access the recording once the meeting is over? How do I get the recording? How do I get the link to share with participants? I can get that from my calendar. If I go back to the calendar, let's see, where is today's meeting? Today is 11th. I go back to 11. This is the meeting we're having right now. At the end of this meeting, once the meeting is over and everything is fine with the recording, I can just go to chat. If I click on chat here, for this meeting, it should be somewhere at the top. I will see if I click on the particular meeting, if the recording is ready, it will tell me recording is ready and who did the recording. I can download a recording. I can also download the transcripts. This is a different meeting now. It's not the meeting we're having at the moment. And I can download the chat history and also the attendance register, all from chat here or from calendar. Okay. So that's how I access. The meeting is still on, as you can see. The recording now because the meeting is still on. Any questions? Okay. Using the whiteboard, if you want to interact, you want people to say, I want to say to them, okay, can you give me one word regarding the training today? And type it in the whiteboard. Where do I get the whiteboard from? I get it from the, okay, share screen button. Oh, okay. I will not be able to show that to you now because I'm sharing my screen. But, oh yeah, I should be able to. So if I stop sharing, I go back to share screen, I click. I told you there are three options. I can either share my screen, share my window, or I can share a whiteboard. Those options are there. So now I want to use the whiteboard option. I've clicked on it and it is generating the whiteboard now. And I can say to you, type or inscribe one word regarding this meeting. I can already click on one of the pens there just to write something. I can say great. Yeah. I'm not sure if you can see that on your screen, but yeah, it's there. Yeah, it's there. If you move your screen around, you can use your finger to move the whiteboard around, and you can see everything that is typed there. I can erase what we have there, or I can choose a different pen. I can underline. I can write something else. And I can either choose an option to allow me to be the only one to do this, or I can choose a second option that says collaborate so that both myself and the participants will be able to write or type or sketch something on the whiteboard. So this is a tool you can use to interact with participants. Yes, Sister Angelina, I see your hand.
It's telling me for now, only members of this organization can participate. Soon you will be able to. So I am not seeing anything on the whiteboard except a little bird.
Oh, really? Is there
Yeah.
anyone else who can see something on the whiteboard? Because on my small screen on my phone, I can see it. Is there anyone who can see the whiteboard I'm sharing?
Mine is saying your requests. No, it's blocked, so something, an
Blocked.
errors occurred.
Okay,
An errors
then.
occurred while processing your request.
Okay, then it's possible. Then I need to change an
Me too,
option
it's
somewhere
wrong.
in the setting. Okay, then maybe I need to change an option in the setting for everyone to be able to see it. Okay. Okay, then since you can see it, let's not waste time on that. I will just stop the whiteboard. But there are other options you can use, mural and other stuff. That will be for another time. You can use that also for interaction, collaborating. But that's not critically important. There are other options we can use, but because of time, I can't go into all those now. But the last thing I want to show us before we close is how do you create a registration form that you will share for people to register for your Saline training using MS Forms. And that's what I want to share now. So let me share my screen once again. Okay. I'm sharing my screen. And in my screen, I want to go to because I have Microsoft 360. There are different options you can see on the left-hand side: Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, OneDrive, OneNote, SharePoint, MS Teams, Sway, and this is the one I'm looking for. Form. If I click on MS Forms here you can see I can choose this option to create a new form. Just to show you an example of what the form will look like. Here is the previous form I created for our last Saline process training. I created this form and it's opening at the moment. It's a registration form for a virtual Saline witness training with question 1 pilot and different questions: name and surname, phone number, email address, name of your partner organization, profession, country, and all of that. I can add a new field. How did I create this? Now let's go back here to forms. I want to create a new form. So I click on forms, untitled form. That will be a new form. Let me give you the title. I call it Saline Training 2022. Okay, let's say January 2022. That's the title of this registration form. I can write a short description, but I'll just say SPWT 2022. Then I say add new. I can also put a background if I want to, if I click on insert image, but you would have created the background first. Maybe you have a banner with HCFI logo, Saline Process logo, IHS Global logo. You can insert that here, but that would take some time. So let's leave it plain like this. If I click add new, let's see, add new text. So I want to put a question. The first one would be, I want a first name. and that will be entered as a text. If it's a required field, I just click here to say required. So it's a must. They must fill in that field to go to the next one. I add the next one, a text. That will be the surname. It's also a required field. Next, let's say a text, email address, email. Also a required field. I put the next one, text. Let's call it country. Great. Also a required field. Now, I don't want to put too much, but this is how you add different fields. You must know exactly what information you want to collect that can help you to know where participants are registering from. I can add profession. I can add partner organization like HCFI, ICMDA, Nurses Christian Fellowship. I can add a city. I can add phone number. Yeah, that's important. So let's do add phone number. Phone number for WhatsApp, for instance. So add whatever fields you want to add. And once you're done, and if you want to delete a field, let's say you duplicated, you want to delete, there's a delete button here that you can use to delete a field or delete a question. And there are other options here that you can use as well. You just have to play around. So once you're done creating the different fields, I can preview to see what this will look like. I click on preview. This is what my form will look like once participants have received the link and they click on it. This is what they see. And once they have filled in all the information and they click submit, the form will be submitted. This is a computer view. There is also the view they will see on their mobile phone. It will appear like this on the mobile phone. So if they are registering via a mobile phone, this is how it will appear. If the registration is via a computer, this is how it will appear. So let me go back by clicking the back button here. I have created my form. It saves automatically. You see here it says saved. So it's already saved automatically. I can always add a background here or a banner later on. If I want to get a link from this form that I share on WhatsApp or by email, here I have the share option. If I click share, I click on that button, there my link is generated. I can copy the link, copy. I can even shorten that link if I want to. So it gives me a shortened version of the link. I can copy that link and share it. I can, at the bottom here, get a link to view and edit. So by copying this link, I can email it, send it by email, or I can get it from here and share it on WhatsApp. Let's see, where is my WhatsApp now? It should be somewhere in my desktop. Yeah, there's my WhatsApp. So I've copied the link. I can paste it on WhatsApp. Let's try to paste it on this group. Once I paste on this group and I share, whoever clicks on that link will have a form like this open, and they can register and click submit, and then the form will be submitted. I can even put a message at the end of that submission that participants will see to let them know that they have successfully registered. Let's see if we can go back to that form so that we can try to do that. Okay, this is not the right one. It's the right form. This is our form. Yeah, feedback. If I click on these three buttons at the top right hand corner, settings, feedback. What let's see. Okay, no, that's not the one. Let me see. Print form, feedback, term, settings. Let me click on settings. Yeah, so I clicked on settings. Who can fill in this form? Anyone can respond. Options for responses, accept responses. You can choose your start date and end dates for registration. If you choose your end date, you set the date and time. By that date, no one can register anymore. If they click on that form, it will say, okay, no, registration is closed. Response receipt. This is what I'm looking for. Allow receipt of responses. Okay, after submission, get email notification. You can set all of that. The other option I was looking for is the message that participants will get once they have registered. Yeah, here it is. Customize your thank you message. I click on it. Once participants have registered, I can say, oh no, thank you for registering for this event. So every time someone registers and they click submit, they will get a thank you message. So they know the registration is complete. Now this is all saved automatically. I don't have to do anything else. How then do you manage the registrations? How do you know who has registered, who has not, where they're registering from? Here, you will see responses. At the moment, no one has registered. If 5 people register, I will see there are 5 responses, and I can click here to see the responses and everything else there is to see. Now, let me just go to a previous registration form to show you an example. For this particular form, I had 44 responses. If I click on responses here, I will have all the data. You can see registration is closed. I can view the results on and download it on Excel. But from here, I can see the names and surnames and all of those information, phone number, address, organization like KCFI and so on. Yeah, partner organization, professions. There are more nurses and some doctors, and you can see all the professions represented here. You can even see the countries where they registered from. There are more people who registered from Kenya than anywhere else. You can see the cities. There are more registrants from Nakuru. Job title, church denomination, even the age of those who registered. You can see it's all there. And I can phone numbers. How do I download this information on Excel? So I have the responses. I can click here to say open in Excel. If I click on this button here that says open in Excel, it will open that form in an Excel spreadsheet. And then I can edit, remove the fields I don't want and keep the rest. So here it is. I have all the information, all the 44 people who registered, even though some of them are double registrations. Now, let me close this because, some information is there that is not for everyone's consumption. But yeah, but you see it in Excel spreadsheets like in this format. And you can edit and remove the fields you don't need, keep the rest. Once you have all the information you need, to submit your report to IHS Global at the end of your training. You can now decide what to do with the rest. You can delete or save for future reference or whatever, or use to create a WhatsApp group for follow-up. Is up to you. But that is how you create a form, and that is how you download the form, view the responses of those who have registered for the event, and yeah, download it on Excel spreadsheet. Great. So any questions? That's about all I have for today. I know it's a lot to take in. We've gone way past our time. But most of it is just practice, 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 practice. And some of what I've shown here, I didn't have to spend time to learn. I did some of them while giving the training, like the breakout rooms. I just clicked on the button, and there I knew what to do. I created breakout rooms, and boom, we were in it already. So the rest is just practice. Any questions, comments, anything you need clarification on before we close?
Tim, I lost the view, but how can we start practicing just with connecting and then with somebody else or so?
If you can repeat the question again, Alex, if you can rephrase so I can get it clearly.
Tim, how can we start practicing?
Yes. To practice all that we have learned, you don't even need participants yet. You just go on your MS Teams, go to calendar, and try to create an event and start a meeting. So once you create the event on your calendar, following the steps we have shown, you can choose a date and time for the event. Once you have created the event, you can click on, okay, let's go back to Monday, December 13. This is the event you created. Once you have created that event, you click on it. You can see the link for the meeting. You can try to edit. You can even click to join the meeting. It will open a meeting such as the one we have. And you can start playing with all of the options there at the top. Play with the options and click on them, see what you get. And if you struggle with anything, you can always pop me a message, either on WhatsApp or email. I will try to provide some guidance. But if you are used to Zoom, the principles are the same, mostly. You just need a bit of practice with MS Teams and knowing where to find some of these buttons. And by logging in, create an event, starting a meeting, you will see all these buttons. And you can start playing around with the buttons and see what you get. You can even decide to have a small meeting of 2 or 3 people and test out some of these buttons and see what happens. Okay.
Tim, may I ask one more question?
Please go ahead.
You said you were going to forms.
Yes.
To put on. Where do I find that?
Okay, now because I have in my computer Microsoft 360 from my organization, and because it's the full package, I have all those options there. You can see the name of my university, but if you don't have this, you can do the same on Google. For Google, it's free. Because we are working on MS Teams, I have decided to show how to create forms on MS Teams. But if you can't access that on MS Teams and all you have is Google, which almost everyone has, google.com, and you have an account on Google, If you look here at the top right-hand corner, you will see a square of dots that says Google Apps. It's there on your computer or on your phone once you have a Google account. If I click on it and I scroll down, I'm going to see forms. There it is, forms. Here. You can do exactly the same thing. If I click on it, I can start a new form. Here is the previous one I created for Saline, a Saline training. Saline process training the trainers. And it's the same principle. You can also see I have 47 responses here. And you can also see the statistics of all the responses exactly, well, not exactly, but similar to what we found on MS Forms. So if you know how to use one, it's easy to know how to use the other. You can also click send here to share the link. Here it is. I click on this button here. I can copy the link by clicking copy. I copy it and I can share it on WhatsApp or by email, or I can just click here to email it to someone. Include form in email. So it all takes a bit of practice and clicking here and there and be willing to make mistakes. Nothing wrong in making mistakes when you're learning. So just be brave enough to click here and there and make your mistakes, learn. And yeah, so that's another option. If you don't have MS Teams forms on MS Teams, go to Google, look for, let me take you back there again.
Forms.
Yeah, that's square with dots on the top right-hand corner, Google Apps. You click on it, you scroll down, 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 you will see forms. Click on forms, you can start a new form. And then you give it a title, and you can start adding other fields. If I want to add a new field, I can come here and say add question. I add the next one, add question. I choose the type of question, add question. Once you're done, you click send to get the link. Again, it saves automatically. Here you get your responses. This is for settings. If you want to download to Excel spreadsheets all your responses, there's a button here, create spreadsheets. You can lock the responses so that no more registrations. There's a button here for that. So it's all about practice, clicking here and there, playing around, and then it's quite easy. I can assure you it's very easy. You just need to be brave enough to click here and there. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. And
thank you, Tim.
Yeah.
We sure need to start playing with it.
Exactly.
Because I think many of us have this hate-love relationship with this kind of system.
Yeah.
So, but you seem to enjoy it, and we will try to learn to enjoy it. I think I speak for most of us.
Yes. And
thank you so much, Tim.
Yeah. Some of the trainers in my team, some are 60, 65, 70 and above. Once we show them how this works, yeah, it's easy. They do it. They're doing it. So if they can do it, we all can as well. Yeah.
You say I can do it as well.
Why not, Alex? It's easy. Try it and see.
Wonderful, Tim.
I see Angelina still has her hands up.
Yeah, not still, Tim. I just put this one up to say to Alec that we have the full Microsoft package, which includes all the things that Tim has been talking about. So we need to go and play.
Yes.
And take a day to play with it. Yeah.
Exactly. If you struggle with anything, please feel free to let me know. I'll be more than happy to assist.
Okay.
Okay.
Tim, thank you so much. We've gone far over time.
Yes.
I hope that doesn't block the rest of your day. But is there any burning question? Inga, you will have fun to play with it. Yeah. So Tim, we want to thank you. I think now it's up to us to start practicing. And thank you so much for taking us into something which is new, but I think it will be excellent to use it. Yeah?
You're
a good teacher.
I use it for Saline training. I use it for meetings. I use it for lectures with my students. Same principles, same thing. You can use it for meetings. You can even phone someone who is on MS Teams, make a phone call overseas. So all of those options are there. Let's see, where's the option for phone now? I get calls on MS Teams. Let's see, you click on that more reaction, but call me. See, there's an option to call someone. It's there. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, Tim, we will start practicing with him. And I want to thank everybody who joined us. And I think one thing before you start, maybe a good thing is to pray and ask the Lord to help you.
Yes.
Yeah. I think it's a good moment to close now. And Inga, can I ask you to pray for each of us? You know how hard it is. So.
Yes. We thank you, Lord, for this excellent teaching we have been part of this morning. Thank you so much for Timothy and the good teaching he gave us. And now we ask you to make space in our brains and make us able to do this. Lord, thank you for giving us the opportunity to and help us to complete the teaching in our mind so we can use it and we can use it in full yes, for the future. Thank you, Lord, for Saline, and thank you for everyone who have joined this session here. I pray for Alette and bless you, Alette, for the future training for trainers all over the world. And I bless everyone who has been joined this teaching. God bless you, everyone out there in the world. It's so good to be a part of the worldwide family. We thank you, Lord, for that, and thank you for your presence. Thank you for you are with us. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Tim, and thank you, everyone. We will work now, and if we get stuck, we know where to find you, Tim.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you very much.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.